I joked to my husband, maybe I'll meet someone better tonight, before heading out for girls' night. When I came home, the locks were changed and the man I thought I knew had already started building a life without me. I'm Jada, 27, and I've been with Connor for 5 years, married for 3. He used to laugh at my sarcastic comments, but lately, everything I say seems to set him off. That night changed everything between us, and I'm still trying to figure out how a stupid little joke spiraled into the mess we're in now. I spent almost 2 hours getting ready that Friday night. New outfit, full makeup, hair curled perfectly, the works. When I walked into our living room, Connor looked up from his workbench, where he was sketching designs for a custom dining table. His eyebrows shot up immediately. "Wow, you look really dressed up for just hanging out with Tiffany and Rachel," he said, setting down his pencil. I did a little twirl, feeling pretty good about myself. "Thanks. I wanted to feel nice for once. Been a while since I put in this much effort." The look on his face changed. I couldn't quite read it. "You never dress up like that when we go out." I rolled my eyes. "Because we go to the same 3 restaurants, and you're always in a rush to get home to work on your projects." Between us, I was thinking how pathetic our date nights had become compared to my friends' Instagram-worthy evenings with their husbands. Connor stood up, crossing his arms. "So you're putting in all this effort for your friends but not for me?" That's when I should have just explained that I needed a confidence boost or something. Instead, I laughed and said, "Well, you never know. Maybe I'll meet someone better tonight." The second those words left my mouth, I saw something harden in his expression. He didn't yell, didn't even raise his voice. He just looked at me with this coldness I'd never seen before. "That's not funny, Jada. Not even a little bit." I huffed and grabbed my purse. "Oh my God, it was just a joke. When did you become so sensitive? You need to lighten up." "Is it, though, a joke?" he asked quietly. "Because lately, it feels like you're always looking for reasons to be disappointed in me." "Now you're being dramatic," I said, checking the time on my phone. "I gotta go. The girls are waiting." He didn't say goodbye. I didn't think much of it. We'd had little spats before. I figured he'd cool off by the time I got home. Girls' night was at this new cocktail place downtown. Perfect lighting, fancy drinks, the kind of spot where people accidentally take photos for social media. Tiffany was already there with her perfect hair and the designer bag her husband bought her for their anniversary. Between us, I can't stand how she always has to one-up everyone else's relationships. "Oh my God, you look amazing," she squealed when I arrived. I couldn't help but notice her quick up and down assessment of my outfit. Total frenemy behavior. "Thanks," I said, sliding into the booth. I needed this night out. Connor's been in one of his moods lately. Rachel joined us a few minutes later. "Sorry I'm late." Mark wouldn't stop asking questions about where we were going. I rolled my eyes. Connor was weird about me dressing up, too. What, we can't look nice without it being for some guy. But the truth was, I did enjoy the looks I got from guys at the bar. One in particular kept glancing over, and I didn't exactly discourage it. I would never cheat on Connor, but there's nothing wrong with a little harmless flirtation, right? It feels good to be desired, especially when your husband spends more time with wood and power tools than with you. After a few drinks, Rachel started venting about Mark's family. His mom called me yesterday asking why we haven't had kids yet. Like it's any of her business. "At least Mark has a real career," I said without thinking. "Connor's still trying to make his furniture business work. Do you know what Megan's husband got her for their anniversary? A trip to Cabo. You know what Connor got me? A handmade jewelry box. Like, thanks for the reminder that we can't afford real gifts." When I got home around 1 a.m., like he wouldn't work in the door. I tried again, thinking I was just too tipsy to get it right. Nothing. I knocked softly at first, then harder. "Connor, can you open the door? My key isn't working." Silence. I called his phone. Straight to voicemail. I texted. No response. That's when I noticed the small lockbox mounted by the door, the kind realtors use. I'd never seen it before. There was a note taped to it with a simple code written on it. I punched in the numbers, and inside was my house key. He had changed the locks and left me a way in, but made sure I knew I wasn't welcome. When I finally got inside, the house was dark. Connor's side of the closet was half empty. A note on the kitchen counter simply said, "Staying at a hotel. We need to talk about what you really want." I stood there stunned, still in my going out clothes, makeup slightly smudged, holding the note in my shaking hand. How did a stupid joke turn into this, and why did I have this sinking feeling that it wasn't just about the joke at all? I spent the night alternating between angry texts and desperate voicemails. First, I was furious. Who changes the locks on their wife? Then I was pleading. "Baby, please come home. We need to talk." By morning, with no response, I was seething. I pulled out my emergency cash stash from behind the bathroom vent, $600 that Connor had no idea about, and booked myself a spa day. If he wanted to act childish, I could play that game too. When he finally responded Sunday night, his text was infuriatingly calm. "I'll be home tomorrow after work. We need to talk." Talk about what? A stupid joke that he blew completely out of proportion? I spent the day cleaning obsessively, rehearsing all the ways I'd make him see how ridiculous he was being. By the time he walked through the door Monday evening, I had worked myself into a perfect storm of righteous indignation. "So you're back," I said, arms crossed, watching him set down his bag by the door. He looked different somehow, shoulders straighter, expression unreadable. "We need to talk about what happened," he said, not moving toward me for a hug or kiss like he normally would after time apart. "What happened is you lost your mind over a joke and locked me out of my own house," I snapped. "Do you know how embarrassing that was? What if someone had seen me?" Connor's jaw tightened. "A joke, is that really what you think it was? Obviously? God, when did you become so sensitive?" "It wasn't the joke, Jada. It was what it revealed." He sat down on the edge of the couch, keeping distance between us. "I've been thinking a lot about us lately. About how you talk about me to your friends, how you compare me to their husbands." My stomach dropped. How could he possibly know about that? Unless, have you been checking my phone, going through my messages? The thought that he'd invaded my privacy made my blood boil. "I don't need to. Rachel's husband Mark told me everything." He looked up at me, his eyes cold. "Apparently, you've been quite vocal about how disappointed you are in me and my fake career, about how you deserve better." I felt my face flush. That's Mark misunderstood. I was just venting. Everyone complains about their spouse sometimes. Do they joke about finding someone better while dressed up for a night out? Do they post photos deliberately showing other men checking them out? Wait, seeing that? I thought I'd blocked him from my stories. "You were overreacting," I said, but my voice lacked conviction. "It was just a stupid night out. I was letting off steam." "This isn't just about Friday night. It's about a pattern, Jada. You've been undermining me for months, making little comments about my work, comparing our life to your friends, acting like